Hey, what's up, everybody? This episode of Hammer the Heck Out of It is only going to be me. Alex is very busy, but I talked to him and we both decided that it would be really cool to kind of start doing weekly PGA Tour predictions. Um, I personally love trying to predict the PGA Tour. I think it's very difficult, um, but it's something I really enjoy. You look at this week here, we've got the Players, which is always kind of considered the fifth major. It's a huge tournament, obviously. At TPC Sawgrass, it's one of my favorite courses on tour. Always looks phenomenal from a viewership standpoint. Um, I love the Ponte Vedra area, Northeast Florida, Jacksonville, St. Augustine. It's a great area. But you look at last year's tournament, kind of break it down a little bit. The 30 looks like a little over 35% of approach shots were from 150 to 200. So that's pretty heavy majority. Um, you break it down even further. The average fairway width is 30 yards. It's four less than the average on tour. So hitting fairways is paramount this week. Driving accuracy was down last year compared to tour average, but the driving distance was also down. That's because some of these par fours you don't need to hit driver. So driving distance, it's important. It's great because you need to try to get after the par fives here at Sawgrass because you need to make your par on par threes, kind of like your typical every week. But the par fours are hard to score on as well. So your par fives become extremely important. You break down past winners here: Cam Smith, 2022, 2021, Justin Thomas. Not sure why they have Hideki in 2020 because they didn't finish that tournament. That was the year that COVID kind of exploded onto the scene, and obviously, and that was the week. And they shut the tournament down. Hideki was leading the tournament, so I get why they have him on here. But I'm surprised it doesn't just say like NA or something because Hideki has not won a Players. Um, Rory McIlroy, 2019. Webb Simpson, 2018. Webb was kind of an outlier. Most of the time, your winner gains heavily on approach. Webb putted the lights out that week. Everything he hit on a green, he made. So he gained heavily on putting, which Cam Smith obviously last year did as well. Which is it's extremely important to know these greens, to know the green complexes, know how they're going to break, know the speed. Um, no three putts, obviously. It's very important. Siwoo in 2017, Jason Day 2016, Ricky Fowler 2015, Keimer in 2014, and Woods in 2013. Those are the last 10 winners. Okay. Some things I kind of looked at this week when I was deciding my picks off the tee, strokes gained off the tee. You look at Cam Smith, strokes gained tee to green. Sorry, that kind of combines off the tee and approach. You look at Cam Smith. He was actually the least out of the top eight on tee to green. He just saved it all putting, which is something Cam Smith seems to do a lot. I don't know if he's doing that now, but that's what he seemed to do a lot. Kind of break it down. Man, it looks like Greg Norman just took this leaderboard and started offering a ton of money to everybody because these are all live dudes. Last year it's you want to take last year into effect. It's important, but you can't sit there and only harp on last year as the weather made a huge difference. If you teed off an AM PM, you were at a little bit of an advantage just off the bat because the PM AM had to play in some pretty terrible weather. A lot of those guys missed the cut. So last year is important, but also you kind of with Sawgrass in general, it's such a volatile golf course. It's a lot like the Honda Classic, and it's a lot like Bay Hill, which they just played. There's kind of a trend with Florida courses where there's so much trouble around you that if you're just having a bad week hitting the golf ball, you're going to get yourself in trouble. You're going to make double bogeys, triple bogeys, and you're going to miss the cut. And there's people who shoot 80 every year out at Sawgrass, pretty much all 4 rounds. So it's another elevated event, heavy purse. But yeah, I kind of looked at approach from 150 to 170, tee to green numbers, and then a little bit of course history, but mainly current form. You'll see why here in a little bit on one of my picks, why I say a little bit of course history, because his course history is shockingly bad, except for 1 year where he came in second place. So look at Rory's course history here. 3 top tens and a trophy. That'll do. That's pretty good. Rory's pretty good pick any week. He's my first pick this year. He's one of the favorites. It's Rory McIlroy. The other two of this kind of new portrayed big three on the PGA Tour of Rahm, Scheffler, and Rory have won an elevated event this year. Rory could have won last week, like very closely. So, and there's kind of a trend where like PGA Tour guys will come close to winning and then they won't, because it's a huge letdown. But you look at a guy like Rory who's won so much, and you look at very recent examples here. Alfred Dunhill Links Championship, T4 wins the next event. DP World Tour Championship, fourth, wins the next event. He's not a guy where you have to worry about a letdown spot because he came close. He's gained off the tee. Looks like ever since he missed the cut in Memphis at St. Jude, he's gained on approach pretty much every event except for the BMW in the last year, it looks like. So it's Rory McIlroy. It's not a shock. He's great at golf. He has good course history, and he's in really good form. This is my guy that I picked. So Rory's my first pick. Xander Schauffele is my second. This is the one where you look at the course history and wow, missed the last 2 cuts last year, whatever. The weather was horrible for certain guys. You can say it's the weather's fault. That's fine. Missed the last 2. Didn't finish in 2020 because of COVID. Misses the cut in 2019 as well. The last 3 times they finished this event, he has not played on Saturday or Sunday. But the one before that, T2, he had a chance to win the tournament. It's very volatile, like I said. That's why course history is not like a huge thing I looked at here this week. I really like Xander. His game has came around. Gained over a shot on approach 4 of his last 5. The only one he didn't was last week. I will take my chances on him getting back to gaining over a shot on approach. It's Xander Schauffele. He's very good with the irons. You look at putting. He's had some average weeks. Genesis and Waste Management right here. He gained 0.18 and 0.07. But then he had 2 kind of spike weeks around that, gaining over a shot on putting. But yeah, what you have to do well at this golf course, play smart golf, get it in the fairway, hit good approach shots, make the 10 to 20 footers for birdie every so often, and don't make a lot of bogeys. Xander is great at that. I'll take my chances, even though his course history is not great. He's my second pick. Third pick this week is none other than the youngster Tom Kim. And I say youngster because I am like 2.5 years older than this kid. And he is phenomenal to watch. You look at his approach, it dwindled down at the Waste Management, and then the Genesis was very average. And then he's kind of picked it back up last week. Great timing. Off the tee, he's great. He's going to hit it on a string. His driving accuracy is one of the best on tour. He's going to find the fairways for you. I'll take my chances that the putter gets hot. He kind of came on the scene last year in like the swing season, like kind of late. But he's like a superstar. He's a big game hunter. I can see Tom Kim winning an event that he had that he just wasn't a necessarily favorite in. I like Tom Kim this week. I just think he fits Sawgrass. I think he hits it straight. He makes putts, and his iron game is great. The next two picks that I have this week that I've really looked at are other past winners. I've already had one in Rory. Jason Day. His game has been amazing lately. You look at, first we'll check out course history. T5, T8 back in 18 and 19. His game kind of fell off, and we all kind of know that in 21 and 22. But he won it in 2016. Then you look at his last, even the last 10 weeks, he's missed the cut at the RSM, played bad there. That's right in the middle of it, whatever. The 4 weeks before that, T8, T11, T21, T16. The 5 weeks after that, T18, T7, 5th, T9, T10. Jason Day has been playing phenomenal golf. He's played like a top 20 player in the world. The 5th in Phoenix, the T9 in Genesis, and the T10 in Orlando at Bay Hill, all three elevated events. This is an elevated event. Jason Day has been playing like a top 15, 20 player in the world. I think his game is back. You look at the putting numbers, the past 5 weeks, he's gained over a shot on putting. And you look at his data skill breakdown, he's above average on everything, but what is he particularly above average on? Approach, around the green, and putting. I like Jason Day this week. Sawgrass is a course he's seen a lot of success at, and he just fits that mold. Next pick is, I got two more. This is my 5th pick here, Ricky Fowler. I think Jason Day and Ricky Fowler both have a win that they will be getting this year. Wouldn't it be amazing if it was an elevated event, particularly one that they've both won in the past? It would kind of be like they've completed the circle back. Their games are back. I think anyone who's been paying attention knows that both those guys are playing great golf. Look at Fowler. He's been playing well ever since he's been playing well ever since the Fortinet in September. I know he missed the cut at the Shriners, but this last 4 weeks, T11, T10, T20, T31, gained on approach in all of those, and gained on putting in 3 of the 4. I'll take my chances on his putting as well. I think he's one of those dudes that when that putter gets hot, he's going to be in contention. You cannot stop that from happening. He's had success around this place. He knows how to play Sawgrass. And like I said, I think him and Jason Day are both going to win a golf tournament this year. Why not this one? See, Fowler, his course history is not great other than the fact he's won it in 2015. Hey, look at that. His only other really good finish was a T2, much like Xander Schauffele. So it's possible for Xander for sure. Last pick for this week's golf tournament, Sahith Theegala. Sahith is a younger player, obviously. Well, 25, but he broke onto the scene in 2021 or 2022, one of the two, but his game has been in really good shape. It seems every other week he's gained over 2 on approach, and had a spike putting week last week. I like that. I think he's one of those dudes who could win the golf tournament, and everybody would just be like, man, like, how did I not see that coming? Because Sahith Theegala has had some good finishes. T4 at the Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey Pines, and T6 at Riviera at the Genesis. You look at his history, he's had 1 Players Championship, and it was in the awful weather split. So look at what he does well as well. Approach, putting, and I know the driving accuracy is not great, and that can get you in trouble around Sawgrass. I'm guessing last year he kind of learned, I can't just smash driver every hole. And seems to be a good enough player to be able to lay it back and understand that it's going to take smart golf. It's going to take 10 to 12 under. It's not like your typical tour week where you got to go shoot 16, 17 under to win a golf tournament. I love Sahith this week. A little bit about Sawgrass. Obviously, it's a staple on the PGA Tour. Like I said, it's very volatile. Someone could be two or three over after the first day, and then Saturday afternoon, they're right back on top of the leaderboard, and everybody gets confused on how that happened. Well, it's a course you can string together 4, 5, 6 birdies in a row, but it's also a course where you can lose that in 2 holes. So it's about playing steady golf this week. It's not like typical tour where you just fire at every pin and go from there, try to make your 6 to 10 footers for birdie. No, you got to make 10 to 15 to 20 footers. That's fine. Some guys can do that better than others. Um, I like my 6 picks this week. I think that there's a good chance I have the winner in there. I am looking forward to this tournament heavily. Like I said, I love Sawgrass. It's Pete Dye design. Pete Dye designs some diabolical golf courses. They will take you out of the tournament fast if you let them. So I'm very much looking forward to it. Hopefully you all are too. Real quick, I kind of wanted to talk about the episode that me and Alex will have coming out Friday evening, or if I get it done, like editing and everything, or Saturday morning. Um, we have a very special guest, as long as everything goes as planned. Um, just be on the lookout for that. It's going to be a great time. It'll be a great discussion, kind of picking this guy's brain. Um, I'm very much looking forward to that one. And then next week we'll get Alex on here, talk about Copperhead. I know he's played there a bunch. I know he's there a lot. And we'll discuss like what it takes to be successful around Copperhead. It's also a very tough golf course. There's kind of a trend there with the Florida courses are all pretty tough. That's why before Honda wasn't elevated, but that's why before when Arnold Palmer wasn't elevated, you did get some top guys there, but there was also some that never played it because I mean they can make you look like a fool, and I don't think they enjoy looking dumb out there. So that's all I got for Sawgrass this week. Hopefully, you guys are looking forward to the tournament as much as I am. I'll be tuning in, and hopefully, one of these 6 guys that I pointed out for this week gets across the finish line. Again, appreciate y'all for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.